Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the $1 Million Case Study. Today we're going to be talking about optimizing your PPC campaigns. If you remember back to episode number 13, we taught you guys how to set up your first PPC campaigns. And at this point, for us, these have been running for about 2 months. So we've started to collect a good bit of data, and we're going to use this data to really optimize our listings. Rolando, does that sound like a plan or what?
That sounds like an excellent plan to me.
So let's not waste any time. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Once you go into the Campaign Manager section, you're now able to split up your PPC campaigns inside these different portfolios. So we're able to click on the Jungle Slider portfolio. And these are all of our statistics around our particular PPC campaigns. Rolando, tell us a little bit about what campaigns you have set up here.
So right now I actually have 4 campaigns that are running. One's an automatic campaign. That's what I started out with, as well as a broad match campaign. Those are the two that's the starting point. Now, given the fact that these have been running for some time, I went in and I created a phrase match campaign as well as an exact match, because what we're doing is it's a series of optimization. And so we're taking all the keywords that we're generating through the automatic campaign as well through the broad match campaign and moving them progressively through a phrase as well as an exact match campaign.
If you guys remember back from episode number 13, when you choose an automatic campaign, Amazon automatically chooses which keywords they want to place your product in the search results for. The good part about that is Amazon will show you what search terms customers search for and then end up clicking on your listing. This is a great way to harvest keywords that you can later use for your PPC campaigns or inside of your listing. The downside to this is there's no way to really fine tune these campaigns. So over time, what you'll find is you're able to create manual campaigns, which are much more cost efficient than the automatic campaigns.
Now, so also something to keep in mind is that in the early stages, because these are relatively new campaigns, your ACoS is going to be a little higher. It's an investment that you're making, but through this optimization process, you're reducing and you're lowering your ACoS. And so over time, the goal is to keep it somewhere below 25% ACoS.
To start, let's go ahead and hop into our automatic campaign, see how it's performing and what search terms customers are searching for, and then ending up in clicking on our particular product. This particular campaign, as you can see, it has a pretty bad ACoS. Over 200%. Ow. Now, I'll start off by saying that this is very normal for brand new products and brand new campaigns. It's expected that your listing doesn't convert that well because you don't have many reviews yet. And typically, we like to bid a little bit higher when we're getting started with these automatic campaigns so we can make sure to get plenty of impressions and as a result, start to collect plenty of data. A 200% ACoS means that I'm actually spending twice as much in ad spend as the revenue that I generate from one sale. That is what ACoS is, the advertising cost of sale. So obviously that's not sustainable long term. In order to optimize this campaign, I could do 2 things. I could either lower the bid so that I'm spending less on each click, or I could just stop the automatic campaign and switch purely to the manual campaigns. I'll probably choose the latter method, but before I do so, let's hop into the advertising reports. I'm going to choose the reporting period. That's the entire length of this campaign. So I'm going to go to customize. I'm going to go as far back as it will let me, which is March 3rd. Apply that. And then I'm going to download this particular report. After you've opened the spreadsheet inside of Google Sheets, which I tend to prefer now over Excel, the first thing I like to do is click the first row, go to data and create a filter. And now this lets me easily filter each column for respective values. Inside of this particular spreadsheet, I have all the data from all my campaigns. And today we just want to optimize my Jungle Slider campaigns. So what I'll do is I'll remove the campaigns that weren't set up for the Jungle Slider automatic campaign. So after creating the data filters, I'm going to go ahead and filter the campaigns by only my automatic Jungle Slider campaigns. Now I'm left with all of the different search terms that customers have searched for and then landed on my listing. When you look through the customer search terms, you'll also see that there's ASINs in there, and those are the alphanumeric strings, like this example right here. What that means is someone was on that listing and then clicked on a sponsored products ad to go to your listing, okay? So they didn't search for that ASIN. They were on that ASIN's listing and then click through one of the sponsored products placements to land on yours. Now, as we mentioned before, our ACoS, so our advertising cost of sale for our automatic campaigns, is too high. It's not sustainable long-term. We chose to spend extra money in order to launch our product. There's two ways to optimize automatic campaigns. The first group to optimize automatic campaigns is by adding negative keywords. So what I could do is I could find keywords that are performing poorly and I could add them to the negative keyword list. So that's group one. The second way to optimize automatic campaigns is by changing your bids. And there's a number of different ways to do this. To start, you have your default bid, but then inside of the campaign settings, there's some more advanced bid options that we'll show you momentarily. Let's go into the search term report to try to find some poor performing keywords so that we can add them to our negative keyword list. In order to do this, I'm going to add in some additional filters. For my first filter, I only want to see the keywords that have had at least 5 clicks. So I'll go in to the Google Sheets filters, filter by condition. I'm going to say greater than or equal to the value 5 and click OK. After filtering to the search terms that are 5 clicks or more, you'll see that my list is quite a bit smaller. The other filter that I'm going to add in is the total 7-day order number is 0. So this means in the past 7 days, 0 people have placed an order for this particular keyword. So now what you see is there's quite a few keywords that I've spent a lot of money on. This top one, keyboard tray under desk, I've actually spent $157 on and I made $0 worth of sales. So this seems like a search term that I should add to the negative search terms so that Amazon knows not to show my listing for this particular search term. As a general rule of thumb, anytime that I've paid for 10 clicks and gotten 0 sales, I definitely add it to my negative keyword list. If I've gotten between 5 and 10 clicks, that's where it's a little bit more of a gray area, and I usually use my best judgment whether or not I want to run that a little bit longer or add it to the negative keyword list. To add in your negative keywords, you simply go to the negative keywords tab, click the add a negative keyword button. I'm going to choose the negative exact match type, enter my keyword and click on add keywords and then save. Now Amazon knows not to show my listing for this particular keyword in this automatic campaign. Even though this keyword is on the negative keywords list, it's still eligible to be shown in other campaigns, for example, my manual campaigns.
Now you may be wondering why the ACoS was so high on that particular keyword and several others. One of the things that when you're launching that you'll want to do is if you're not getting enough impressions, which was our case because we were new, we were the new kids on the block, right? We wanted to increase our bid significantly so that we could get impressions so that our ad could be served and seen, hopefully clicks and eventually a sale. So that way there we could increase our BSR. So that's pretty much why you'll see some keywords will have a higher ACoS.
So now you should understand one of the ways that you can go about optimizing your automatic campaigns. And as a reminder, that's adding in these negative keywords. The second way to optimize your automatic campaigns is by adjusting your bids. Now, since this is an automatic campaign and Amazon's choosing which keywords they want to show my listing for, I don't have the granularity to optimize my bids for individual keywords. It has to be for the campaign as a whole. So with the newer Seller Central ad platform, you can go into your campaign settings And in the campaign bidding strategy section, there's a few different options. Dynamic bids down only, dynamic bids up and down, and just fixed bids. Now with dynamic bids down only, if Amazon believes that your listing performs poorly for that particular keyword, they'll automatically lower your bid. For up and down, they'll raise your bid or lower your bid depending on how they believe your listing converts for that keyword. And fixed bid just means they'll never go over that bid and they'll bid up to it. For us right now, we have it set to dynamic bids up and down. And the maximum amount that they'll increase it up or down is 100%. So our default bid is $1. For any keywords that they believe that our listing converts well for, they'll bid up to $2 if that means winning that particular bid. Since our ACoS is too high in this particular campaign and is not sustainable long term, we essentially have two options. One would be we could switch to dynamic bids down only, and that means Amazon would automatically lower our bids for the keywords that we convert poorly for, and they wouldn't raise it up to $2 anymore. Or we could switch to the fixed bids option. For this automatic campaign, we're going to choose to do dynamic bids and down only. Now, what this is going to do, instead of going up to $2, now the maximum is going to be $1, which is our default bid, and Amazon will start to lower that bid for the keywords that we convert poorly for. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And then I'm going to reevaluate this in about 1 to 2 weeks. If the ACoS is still too high, that it's not sustainable for us long term, my next option is to go into my default bid and start to decrease that default bid. So now you should understand the two ways that you can optimize automatic campaigns. The first way, find the keywords that you're performing poorly for and add those to your negative keywords. And the second way is to change the way that you're bidding for this particular campaign. Now that you understand that, let's hop over to our manual campaigns, which you can optimize on a keyword level instead of on a campaign level. You have to optimize each campaign and ad group separately, so let's go ahead and hop into one. To start, we'll do the manual phrase match. After I'm in there, I'm going to go ahead and click on my bamboo color. And to see what keywords I'm targeting, I click the targeting tab. Now, keep in mind, there's a lot of different ways to optimize these campaigns. And if you watch 100 different videos, you'll see 100 different people do it a little bit differently. I like to keep it fairly simple. The first thing I like to do is make sure that all of the different columns are turned on. Now, big picture here, when we're talking about like the philosophy behind how I'm optimizing these manual campaigns, what I'm thinking about is the keywords that I'm spending too much money on, so my ACoS is too high. I either want to turn that keyword off or I want to decrease my bid. When you're first getting started and you haven't had that many sales, it's usually pretty manageable to just sort by the overall spend and then look at each keyword that's at the top of the list. Now for this top keyword, so it's keyboard tray, phrase match, you can see that I've had 206 clicks. My cost per click's $3.36, and from that I've gotten 20 orders. That means my advertising cost of sale is 52%. Let's call that 50% for round numbers. And what that means is if my product's selling for $60, I'm spending $30 worth of clicks in order to get one sale. That's your advertising cost of sale. Since this listing's still fairly young and I'm still trying to get as many sales as I can, I'm willing to spend up to about 100% advertising cost of sale. So for this one right here, it's actually performing pretty well for me right now. It's 52%, so I'm going to keep that running. And I'm actually even going to increase the bid a little bit because I'm actually willing to spend a little bit more money on it right now. Amazon's suggested bid is $1.35 to $2. So for this particular one, I'm going to put it up to $2. Now let's look at the next keyword that I spent the second most amount of money on. For this particular one, I've had 43 clicks. I made one sale for $70. So the advertising cost of sale is 112%, which is a little bit higher than my particular threshold. So for this one, I'm going to go ahead and decrease the bid a little bit. Let's also put this one at $2. The only other keyword that I've spent money on in this particular campaign, so this is the phrase match campaign, is table extender. I've gotten 2 clicks. I've spent $2.64 per click and gotten no sales for it. So I haven't really had that many clicks yet. That would mean that each click is converting at 50%. So I'm going to go ahead and let this one run a little bit longer. So this particular campaign, the phrase match, has been relatively easy to optimize because there's only been 3 keywords that I've actually spent any money on. Let's go ahead and look at one of the other ad groups inside of this same campaign. What this means is I have 2 different colors. So what I just did was optimized the bamboo color, and now I would need to do the same optimization for the black color. For the purpose of this video, I won't go into the ad group level because they're usually fairly similar. So the next one I'm going to optimize is my manual broad match campaign, and I'm going to do it in a very similar fashion. I'm going to see which keywords I'm currently spending money on. And as you'll see in this campaign and ad group, I've spent money on a lot more keywords. This makes sense because it's a broad match, so I'm eligible to be shown on a lot more keywords. For this particular ad group, I'm going to sort by the number of clicks since there's more keywords that I've gotten clicks on. The philosophy I'm going to use when optimizing this ad group is a similar philosophy to how I chose the negative keywords inside of the automatic campaign. Anything that's gotten 10 clicks or more, yet has had 0 sales, I'm going to go ahead and turn that keyword off. Instead of turning the keyword off, if you'd prefer to just set the bid to something very low, like 10 cents or 5 cents, that's fine too. Some people believe in the philosophy that Amazon's not going to rank your listing for that particular keyword if you turn it off. However, I'm not convinced that's true. So for the keyword that I've actually gotten the most clicks for, which is organizer desk, I've had 50 clicks and 0 sales. I spent $121 and gotten 0 sales out of that. So for me, that's a good one to just go ahead and turn off. The next one down, which is keyboard under desk tray, 38 clicks. The CPC is $6.31, which is very expensive. However, I have gotten 3 sales for it for an ACoS of 114%. So that one's performing at around the 100% threshold that we set a little bit earlier. Since we're a little bit above our 100% threshold, I'm going to go ahead and decrease that bid a little bit. For this one, I'll take it down to 90 cents since I'm pretty close to 100%. The next one down, I've gotten 35 clicks. And even though it has a pretty high cost per click of $4.30, my ACoS is pretty good, 48%. And I'm going to continue to do this and go down the list one by one. For example, the next one, drawer for desk, it's gotten 30 clicks and 0 sales, so I'm going to go ahead and turn it off. Ultimately, this is how I go about optimizing these PPC campaigns. You can make it a lot more complicated. However, this method actually works very well and it's fairly simple to do. Remember the big picture here. We're trying to figure out which keywords we can profitably spend money on in order to get people to purchase our product. If we're spending too much money on it and it's above the ACoS threshold that we set, the best thing to do is just to lower the bid. Unless you've gotten a whole bunch of clicks on it and you've gotten 0 sales, then feel free to just go ahead and turn off that particular keyword. Just like with automatic campaigns, manual campaigns have the same settings inside of placements and campaign settings. For manual campaigns, I prefer to actually leave it on dynamic bids up and down, since with manual campaigns, I'm able to adjust each bid on a particular keyword level. Over time, the more data you collect and the more sales you get and the more optimizations you do, you should be able to really optimize these campaigns over time. This isn't something that you can just do after a few weeks, but it's something that you need to go in every few weeks over the course of months or years and continuously optimize it. And that's how I go about optimizing my PPC campaigns. As a quick overview, with automatic campaigns, there's 2 ways you can go about optimizing them. One is by adding negative keywords, and the second way is by adjusting your bids. With my manual campaigns, I want to optimize each one on a keyword level. And ultimately, I want to look through my keywords to find the ones where I'm overspending my budget and decrease those bids or turn those bids off. Since we released episode number 13, Amazon released a new type of targeting, which lets you target specific categories or products. It's always good to be testing new ad placements to see which ones are profitable for your particular product. I'll show you this type of ad placement real quickly, and then we'll wrap up for this session. If you click on manual targeting, add the products you want to advertise, and scroll down to product targeting, which is still in beta. This lets you target a specific category that Amazon's recommending or individual products. You can, of course, just select some of your competitors off of this list, search for products, or you can grab some of the ASINs off of those automatic campaigns that we looked at earlier and add those into this particular list. The way you'd optimize these campaigns is the same way that you go about optimizing manual campaigns, except it'd be on a per category level or on a per ASIN level.
Awesome information, Greg, and I'll definitely continue to apply these optimization tactics, probably on a weekly basis until I can drive that ACoS value down, or the ACoS percentage down. Hey, I want to know, are you interested in learning more about PPC? Do you want to see more content on PPC? If so, then drop a yes in the comments below.
Thank you guys very much for tuning in. If you're enjoying the $1 Million Case Study, don't forget to give us a like and hit that subscribe button. And we will see you in the next episode where we give you a recap and lessons learned throughout the $1 Million Case Study Season 4. Thank you.
Keep crushing it, Freedom Builders.